Another interesting build, guys. This is an L87 from a 2020 GM truck. And you ask, what's the difference between the L87 and the L86? Well, one thing is stop start, and we're not really going to talk about that because most of you guys don't want it. The other big thing is DFM, dynamic fuel management. So this engine can run in a lot of different modes. I think it can run as a 2-cylinder, 3-cylinder, 4-cylinder, all the way up to 8. Active fuel management, as you know, runs as a 4-cylinder or an 8-cylinder. So this has given us more options. This, of course, has a 10-speed transmission, and you know, this is really the heyday of performance, guys. Here we are running an engine with direct injection, continuous variable valve timing, 10-speed transmission. It's just amazing where we're going, and especially for the money. So let's take a little bit better look at this engine. The front accessory drive has been changed up a bit, and it has a different layout. This alternator does look bigger to me, and it's probably for the stop start, and I'm guessing we're running dual batteries. I haven't checked into that yet. Our water pump looks a little different. I think the steam port setup's different. Air compressor looks pretty similar. The real difference is going to be in the DFM, or the dynamic fuel management. Now this is a different controller. This is not an E92, this is an E90. And this computer is used for the dynamic fuel management. Now dynamic fuel management has changed the way the engine is built. Including the engine block. Let's take a look. If we look at this engine, and unfortunately we can't see much here because of the insulator, but in the old days there was a lifter manifold assembly, lifter valve manifold assembly, something like that, and it had solenoids in it. So when the computer shut solenoids off and turned them on, the solenoids were in that lifter manifold assembly, and that would disable the lifters through hydraulic pressure. Well, now those solenoids have been moved out of the lifter manifold assembly and into the engine block. So it's a different engine block, different computer, but what it allows us to do now is run this engine as a multi-cylinder, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's going to give us more operational modes. I don't know about the smoothness of it. AFM can be a little bit abrupt. Hopefully this will be a little bit smoother. AFM does stage the cylinders as it brings it in and out, but I think this is going to do a better job than that. So we can actually run down the road in your big JK as a 2-cylinder with a 10-speed. That's pretty funny. If you look at these breathers here, they're only coming up to here, and in a standard truck that's probably pretty good, but we like to run them up to the top of the engine, so we're of course going to do that. My guess is this has a custom or a special starter motor for stop start, because the starter motor has to go through lots of cycles, hundreds of thousands of cycles, where a standard starter motor would not have to do that. Other than that, it's pretty much the same as an L86, and my guess is that the rest of this install is going to be exactly like an L86. The only hard part's going to be to figure out the tuning, and we're not afraid of that. HP Tuners already has cracked these controllers. Now I have talked to some guys in the industry, and they say that you can run this engine, or they think you can run this engine off an L86 harness and just disable the DFM, but I don't think we're going to go that route. I think we're going to go for the full-blown operation to make it run the way GM intended it to. So we'll be back with this build, and there's just so many other exciting builds we have in the shop right now. You can see there's LTs everywhere, LT4s, and it looks like we might be doing a couple of LT5s here also.